BW Business World. Today we are here at BW Marketing World's D2C Summit 2023. I have with me Mr. Madhu, who is co-founder of Beyond Snack. Welcome, sir. We are here to discuss how D2C sector is evolving in India and how would it shape up in coming years. Tell us, what are some of the determining trends you have seen in the last 1 year or let's say 2 years?
Yeah, so D2C is getting a big channel in India. If you see that in the last 10 years, especially in the last 5 years, how the brands have grown from a normal local brand towards taking it up to the all over the nation and even to the whole world, right? So the first stepping stone was being D2C channel, because this actually cut down a lot of hindrance in hitting the market, right? Without any distributors, with a very minimal amount of spending, all of a sudden your brand is available pan India, right? So who doesn't want to miss out on an opportunity like that? So I think D2C has evolved pretty fast, and it is going to even accelerate faster in the coming 5 years is what I think. And some of the trends that we have seen is that, especially with this, the D2C as a whole, if you see that the ecosystem is getting evolved, right? So initially when the D2C was starting, the ecosystem was in a very nascent stage. What do I mean by that is that the logistics support, the retention support, and all the allied support around the D2C, right? It was not there. But now if you see that, a lot of plug and play kind of a model evolved, and the brands, it is much more easier to go D2C within a multiple clicks. You will be able to go pan India, right? So a lot more trends are going to come in to complement this D2C growth in India for sure. That's what we see.
In this competitive market, if I can say, when we know that every week we have 5 or 10 new brands coming into the space, entering the new space, we still have sectors and segments which is unanswered, which are still looking for solutions, and therein comes the niche solutions brands that are answering, that are providing the solutions. What is that unique proposition that Beyond Snack is giving out to the customers, and why are you playing in the niche?
So I wouldn't call that as a niche, by the way, but because but again, what is the reason to play, right? So there is an organized to organized shift is happening for every industry, as a matter of fact, if you see that. And I think that so far banana chips was heavily on that unorganized sector, which was 99% of the players in this market are still on unorganized sector, and there is an inevitable shift has to happen from that unorganized to organized, and that is exactly what we are driving right now, and through that we are building this category. So the unique value proposition over there is that when you are moving from an unorganized to organized, all of a sudden the brand play will come into picture. When you're talking about brand, then all of a sudden you have to take care of a lot more factors that a local player wouldn't even bother about, right? So those are the unique selling propositions that we are bringing into the proposition of the trust and the promise, and the hygiene and the quality factors, and even the experience as a whole that we are providing as a brand to the consumer. That exactly is the USP that Beyond Snack is bringing. And I think that banana chips as a category all over the world, I would say, even as a matter of fact in India and especially all over the world, people know banana chips and people love banana chips. It is just that we are bringing it into a much more better version and much more trustable version through our brand. So that is a game that we are.
Good to know. I must compliment that you are wearing a brand T-shirt. But what are some of the marketing strategies you would suggest, and you also as a brand are playing with, in terms of how to efficiently balance the marketing cost and looking at your revenue as well?
So sticking to the core narrative is the key thing, especially when it comes to the marketing. What we are doing is that what exactly we are really good at, right? So when we can market a lot about the healthy angle and the technology angle of making the chips, we stick to the core narrative, which is the taste aspect. So our recent marketing campaign also is talking about 24-karat taste, which means how banana chips we are bringing is a 24, the gold standard in taste in banana chips through Beyond Snack. That is the story that we are telling to the consumer. So I mean, when you are able to relate to the consumer directly with the right story and with the right narrative, I think the marketing will be click.
Just because consumers are much more aware these days, yeah?
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's not a new thing, right? We are not really bringing all of a sudden some unknown stuff, right? This is just banana chips, and all of a sudden what we are doing is, okay, banana chips, and now here is a better version of the banana chips, and here is a thing that we are doing, and here is a gold standard in that for you, right? This is the so sticking to that core narrative is the key thing that we are looking for our marketing things, and I believe that if we do that thing really well, consumer will be able to relate ourselves and will be able to come back to us again and again. And
so again, content will lead, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
Quickly tell us how would D2C sector in India would shape up in 2023 and beyond?
Yeah, so if you see that D2C is now not an independent entity, it is connected to a lot more things around it, right? So if you see that content is adding value to it, right? And then all of a sudden the ecosystem and the funding ecosystem, and as well as the all of a sudden the new way of funding like RBF and all those things. So every single aspect which is connected to this D2C is evolving and is supplementing towards a better growth for the D2C. So I believe that in the next 5 years, even D2C is going to accelerate even further because a lot more innovations are yet to happen, and even ChatGPT and all those new technologies are also coming, which is going to be complementing even more for D2C, right? So I think that next 5 years is crucial. You should look out for D2C for sure.
Good to know. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a lovely conversation.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.